what's up guys, Prateek here, finally back with another video. So recently I and selected few media enthusiasts were sent this device even before the launch event, and we have been testing it ever since. This is the part of Asus's new digital launch strategy. All that good stuff is written properly in my blog post, which will be linked below. So without further ado, let's begin with the review of the new, upgraded, refreshed, or even the 2016th variant of the Asus Zenfone Max. Here is a physical overview of the device. On the front is the signature Asus capacitive keys that don't light up, just like all other Zenphones, but that thing would be soon solved with the Asus Zenfone 3 series. On the right side we have volume rockers along with sleep wake button. On the bottom we have a microSD connector alongside the secondary microphone. There's nothing on the left. On the top we have 3.5mm audio jack. While here's what's inside the box. First, we have a OTG cable, some paperwork, and a micro USB cable which is decently long enough. And lastly, we have a Asus charger, which by the way is really slow to charge this phone. Though the Asus logo engraved looks really nice. So now let's begin with the main part. Here is the new, refreshed, upgraded or 2016th variant of the Asus Zenfone Max. While here are the main specs before we move on to the main review. So pause the screen to get a better glimpse of each and everything. First, processing and memory management. So the new Zenfone Max comes with a Snapdragon 615 processor clocked at 1.5 GHz, which is certainly an upgrade over the Snapdragon 410 chipset. Competitors on the other hand are offering newer CPUs, even the ones that are capable of recording 4K. So Asus, you need to think here something. Though the Snapdragon 615 processor has been known for heating issues in the past, but this hasn't been a case here. Even when I'm performing things like video editing, running 30 to 40 apps in the background, or playing a game, the new Zenfone Max plays it exceptionally well. The new Zenfone Max has two variants, one with the 2 GB of RAM and other with 3 GB of RAM. The RAM or the memory management is the only distinguishing factor that helps in identifying the new Zenfone Max from the previous one. I am currently using a 2 GB equipped model. Here about 500 to 1 GB of RAM is always free unless and until you are having some loads of activity doing in the background. Whereas it has got benchmark scores from various sources like Antutu and Quadrant Standard. So initially it will get the job done, but it would have been better to see a newer chipset. Second, design and build. Initially those metal edges give it a more subtle look. This is actually the reason why it feels comfortable to hold in hand even with the 202 grams of weight. Due to the bigger body, the weight gets uniformly distributed. Those metallic buttons are clicky and tactile, although the sleep wake switch should have been placed a tad bit above, just for the ease of accessibility. But this problem is solved by the motion gestures available on this device. Apart from that, there's a signature capacitive touch navigational buttons present on the chin of this device, and to match that we have a similar forehead. That is why this device gets long enough in the front. The navigational buttons aren't backlit, which is the same case with all the Zenphones. Now if you head over to the back, you'll see that the back panel is removable, which for the first time has a smooth leather touch to it than the conventional fake leather stitching. Inside there's a sealed in 5000 mAh battery, which is the most distinguishable factor of this device. Apart from that, there are two micro SIM and a single memory card slot alongside the camera sensor, dual LED flash and a laser autofocus sensor. To differentiate the old Zenfone Max and the newer ones, you need to focus on the back plate. The newer Zenfone Max comes in black, orange and sky blue color variants. After using it for about 2 weeks, the Zenfone logo has wiped out, though the Asus engraved logo is still shiny and prominent. Third, display quality. So it sports a 5.5-inch 720p HD IPS display, giving it a pixel density of about 267 ppi. The massive screen lets the device fall in the phablet category. The viewing angles are great and sunlight legibility also gets a plus point from my side. Since the IPS display does its job really well, it would have been great if this device had a full HD display, since many competitors are providing this in almost a similar price bracket. But I guess this stands as a high point in reducing the heating issues and improving battery life, since a 720p panel has been used here. Many companies are providing a fingerprint scanner and up to 3 GB of RAM at the same pricing. So it's quite odd to see that not happening with the Asus's devices, though the newer Zenfone 3 series just might serve your thoughts. Also, there are various display modes available to suit your demands. Some prefer the natural look while some fall for the vivid colors. Whereas during the night, you can turn on the blue light filter mode to make sure to make the screen look less toned and better suitable for your eyes. Next, camera enhancements. So both the camera sensors present on the back and front are the same as of what we have seen with the older Zenfone Max. The autofocus mechanism is wickedly impressive thanks to the laser autofocus sensor. The rear camera is a 13 megapixel sensor equipped with real tone dual LED flash for adding warmer and cool tones, whereas the front shooter has a 5 megapixel sensor. Both the cameras perform decently enough. They are capable of recording 1080p Full HD videos at 30 frames per second. The camera app provided by Asus has tons of features and modes streamlined, keeping the user's particular in mind. My personal favorite is a manual mode, which is capable of producing some great shots playing with the ISO, white balance, shutter speed, exposure settings and that dope focus ring. I mean damn, yes, this comes at a price of Rs 9,999. If you're not comfortable with the manual mode, don't worry, the auto mode gets the job done. That being said, it's not the best camera sensor that I've seen so far, but it can be right choice to handle your social media needs and low lighting conditions. The camera samples will be linked in the description below. Fun fact, you cannot install Google Camera app on this device. I don't know why. Next, software version and nifty features. The new Zenfone Max runs on the latest version of ZenUI built on top of Android Marshmallow 6.0.1, including the latest security patches update. Considering the look, nothing much has changed in the ZenUI, though the doze mode in the Marshmallow helps a lot in cutting off the useless activities that hinder the battery life. Similarly, changes to app permissions and slight visual effects while launching any apps are observed. Once you set this device up, you get about 100 GB of free Google Drive storage, which is limited for up to 2 years. Then, when you update the inbuilt apps, about 1 to 2 GB quickly gets filled, which is annoying. Yes, it does come with bloatware, but you can remove almost 90% of it. Rest can be disabled. I am a user who is bound to use Google products, so I find myself replacing a lot of keen apps with Google suite of apps, which by the way comes preloaded. So essentially you have duplicate apps. I wish there was a way to delete/combine them. After that, there are some flaws that I have noticed on this device that include the notification tray glitch. When you unlock the device from the standby mode and swipe down, only the first row of the notification tray shows up. After performing the same gesture twice, everything's back to normal. Similarly, there's about 2 to 3 seconds of delay while previewing a picture in the default gallery app. So make sure you toss in another gallery app for having a smoother experience. Once you have updated every other app and the ZenUI launcher, you would notice that the folders would have a more relevant apps section at the bottom, which mainly shows up ad in the form of promotional apps, and to be honest, the apps shown are interestingly quite relevant. Also, do notice that Asus Zenfone Max is capable of rendering 4K content with a little lag. Yes, it cannot record 4K, but it can play back 4K. Here's a living proof of it, making the Snapdragon 615 chipset officially capable of running a 4K content. Let's see if the device receives the Android N update and fixes few of the common flaws. If yes, it'll be interesting to see whether Asus would revamp their user interface. Sixth, battery enhancements. I think by only looking at that massive 5000 mAh battery makes any user accomplished. I got about 14 hours of screen on time with little to heavy usage and about 2.5 days of battery backup, still left with 10% of the juice with normal usage. It has plenty of modes in the Power Saver app, which is quite useful when you're low on juice. There's also a funny marketing gimmick of recharging your friend's phone by using your Zenfone Max as a power bank. This happens via a OTG plus micro USB cable combo. Even though the new Zenfone Max takes quite a while to charge the device completely, it takes nearly about 4.5 hours to charge this device from the provided charger. The supplied charger is 1 amps 5.2 watt charger. Hence, that's the reason it takes quite a while to charge this device. Though if you want to charge the device faster, try using another charger. And yeah, the headphones are not included in the box. My final thought, the new Asus Zenfone Max checks a lot of boxes that I possibly look in a decent smartphone. While it does live up to the name Mac, which is what other users are still struggling to find on any other smartphone, that is a better prolonged battery backup. Although the pricing part for the 3GB RAM variant seems like an overkill. These are the pros and cons that I've observed with this device. So if you're heading to buy a new smartphone under sub 10,000 rupees price range, this should lay under your top 3 choices. So that's about it. The links to buy buy this device would be in the description. Again, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button and I'll catch you in my next video.